it's hard to find a feeling that someone will support you or help you.
It's a very vulnerable thing to talk about, and it's just not everyone would understand your own personal situation.
Feel stranded and hopeless and no one will be there to help them, and it can be quite daunting and quite serious for people.
Quite isolated and alone and trapped. A lot of the older people don't really understand mental health.
Society looks down on young people and are like, you don't know what mental health is, or you're just looking for attention and there's nothing wrong with you.
Can't be true, cause this and that.
People go through a lot of different things and not everything is the same experience.
Nobody really cares about what you're feeling.
And they'll just call you an attention seeker without even trying to listen to you or understand your situation.
If you have nothing nice to say,
don't say it at all.
There's a lack of funding and claims of money being spent.
But nothing changes.
I feel like our government doesn't really consider their own citizens when it comes to spending.
Fixing the school education systems.
More funding for more hospitals and staff.
If they'd spent their money in a different way, then the nurses wouldn't be demanding money now.
And if they had chose to spend the money on looking into something broader than just one narrative, it would have went a lot further.
No putting plant pots up Leaf Walk.
I would change the way society spends its money by adding more accessible spaces for disabled people and people with disabilities. I think that society just shows a blind eye to disabled people and doesn't really pay attention to them.
Not enough people know about mental health and what it actually is.
Which made it harder for people to want to talk more about it.
I could tell certain members of staff more than they could tell me.
In my school, we were never taught about mental health.
It just feels like you can't really ask for help at all at school.
A lot of it was just kind of broadly covered over, and
they would just look at it in a very narrow-minded way.
A huge lack of information about different mental health issues.
I don't think teachers are trained enough or informed enough about mental health.
Of someone that doesn't understand it themselves.
I don't think they feel comfortable talking about it due to that.
You don't know someone else's reality.
So think about the words you use.
Because everyone goes through different things and not everyone's going to understand why you're upset by certain situations and why your mental health is maybe worse or better than theirs.
I feel like I would get judged, like people might not understand where I'm coming from or how I'm feeling right now with my mental health.
The feeling of getting judged by someone.
And it is just more or less due to a lack of understanding, to be honest.
The list for mental health and things like that just goes on and on.
It takes a long time to the point where when you do eventually get an appointment, it can be far too late.
None of us sit high enough
to look down on somebody.
I think it goes based off more on a level of comfort to who you can speak about your mental health to.
If you have a therapist, just someone that you feel close to and you're comfortable enough to talk to, there are people there to help.
Because it puts you in a place where you're needing to trust that person enough to talk about it.
The only way for young people to talk openly about their mental health is to talk with someone who's fully trained and knows exactly what the young person is going through or knows how to deal with it.
What are you going to do about it?
What are you going to do to help?
What are you going to do about it?
And what are you going to do to help?
What are you going to do about it?
What are you going to do to help?